the host of Let's Argue podcast, and wanted to get on this morning and talk a little bit about poverty. I saw some statistics recently that I think will be of interest to many people. Let me adjust this camera, because, all right, I need to get it lined up, I know. But I saw some statistics recently that I think will be of interest to people that are, following the black community, that are doing work in this space. Um, One of the things that I think is a misconception about the black community is that most black people are poor, or that most black people are living in poverty, and that most black people are living this hood lifestyle, and that we're gang banging every day, and we're just living in filth, and that we're at the lowest point of human existence that there can be. Right? There's this misconception that in the black community we are all struggling, or most of us are struggling just to get by, um, at an extreme poverty level, right? And when I look up the numbers, right, and this is available to you as well, if you go on the census, the U.S. Census website, you'll see that the poverty rate in the black community is not 80%. 80% of us are not living in poverty. It's not 90%. It's not 50%. Less than 50% of us are living in poverty. It's not 40%, 30%. The number, the percentage of us living in poverty in the black community is around 17%. 17%. So what does that mean? That means that 83% of the black community is not living in poverty. 83% of the black community is not living in poverty. But if you watch the media, or you subscribe to this idea that all black people are struggling, you think that most of us are living in poverty. You think that most black people wake up and they can't afford food, and they can't afford a place to live, and things like that. But when I look at the statistics and I see that only 17% of black people are living in poverty, that makes me wonder why the narrative is pushed out there that so many black people are living in poverty, or that most black people are poor, etc., etc. And so I thought of some solutions, right? If you are living in poverty, and I know people are going to say, oh, well, it's easier said than done. Hey, I grew up in poverty, right? I'm in that 17%. I grew up in poverty, so I can speak to this somewhat. Um, and I'm not going to give you the lift yourself up by your bootstraps speech, even though I do believe that that's one of the most effective and efficient ways to do it, and I think the opportunity is there. The simple solution that I'm going to give you today is simply get in a relationship with another black person. If you're a female, get in a relationship with a black male. If you're a male, get in a relationship with a black female. And I say black because I do operate from the Pan-African mindset and framework, which is I do believe that black people need to be with black people in order to politically gain strength and power. There's nothing personal. I have no hatred in my heart for other groups of people. Personally, I don't care who you're with. But from a political standpoint, I do think that black men need to be with black women, and black women need to be with black men. So with that being said, to me, that's a simple solution: is get yourself a husband or a wife. And why do I say that? Well, we know based on the statistics that I think over 50% now of households are um, there's dual earners. So most couples, it's not this thing where you see online, the red pill community, where the man is taking care of the woman and she doesn't work at all and there's only one income. Most households need two incomes to survive. Now, the danger within the black community is that only 1 in 4 black women get married. Right? So if only 1 in 4 black women get married, that means that you're probably in a situation as a black woman where you're heading a household by yourself. You're heading a household by yourself, and that's going to be extremely tough. And so when we look at the poverty line, I think the new numbers for 2024 is $15,024 or something like that. Like if you make that or below, you're on the poverty line for a single person. I think for two people it's $20,000, right around there. So let's do the math. If you're in a relationship with somebody and you're pulling in $1,000 a month and they're pulling in $1,000 a month, you're over the poverty line, right? You're over the poverty line. Now, it would be very difficult for me to believe that a healthy, functioning adult would not be able to earn at least $1,000 a month, right? I just don't see how that is impossible. Or for a stretch, if you're a healthy, functioning adult, you should be able to earn at least $1,000 a month. And if you're earning $1,000 a month and your partner's earning $1,000 a month, y'all are not in the poverty line, or y'all are not in poverty. Now I know what people are gonna say. Well, that's only $2,400, or that's only $2,000 a month, $24,000 a year, right? But you're not in poverty. I'm not saying that that's the easiest lifestyle to live off of $2,000 a month. I'm not even saying that that's how much you should make. I'm just saying you should at least be able to make $1,000 a month as a healthy, functioning adult. I would go as far as say that the minimum that a person should be making, is around $2,000 a month. And it's not that hard to make around $2,000 a month. You can get plenty of jobs with just a high school education at $2,000 a month. I always advocate to get sales jobs if you don't have the education, because then you can build a skill set, and as you build that skill set, your income will exponentially increase because of the commissions, etc., etc. So yeah, that's just something interesting that I saw, was that the poverty line, that most black people are not in poverty, because that's the idea, that's the perception, is that most black people are living in poverty. And it's just not true. And many times, and what I found is that when you pull out the data and you pull out the information, many people want to almost criticize you or be like, "Oh, you're talking data." Like, data is a bad word nowadays. Hold up, let me clear this. Data is a bad word. Research is a bad word. This happened during COVID. When you would say, "Oh yeah, I did my own research, not for me, not gonna take it." "Oh, you did research?" That's what it's like sometimes in this space. When you do research, you have numbers to back it up. Like, I was having a conversation or a debate, I think, in a live that I did like a week and a half ago with someone, and I was making the argument that most teachers in black schools are white. And the guy I was debating, he was like getting upset and, "Well, what makes you think that most teachers, a majority of teachers in majority black schools are white?" The numbers, the statistics, the data, right? The information. But when we're operating off of an emotional foundation, we just say what we think is true, and we don't even go look at the data. Like, a quick Google search will let you know a lot of this information. When we're talking about what a individual black person can and can't do, we have to understand that many times what you get on the media is not true. If you look at the data, you'll start to question things and be like, "Well, wait a minute, maybe it's not as bad as I thought it was." Just like when we look into police brutality, if you watch the media, in which they're going to start doing this even more, you would think that black people are getting killed every single day by the cops. That's what you would think. That black people in your city, all across the United States, 50 states, are getting killed every day by the cops, by the droves. I've heard some people even say that it's a genocide, that police brutality is a genocide. So then I say, okay, let me go look this genocide up. I want to know the numbers on this genocide. And guess what? You look up the numbers of black people that get killed every year by the police. It's around 220. Not 220,000, not 20,000, not even 2,000. It's around 200 black people killed every year by the police. But if you watch the media, you would think that, you would think that every time you walk outside your house, you're about to get killed by the cops. Now, last time I checked, I think there's around 365 days in a year. And so if there's only 365 days in a year and 220 black people get killed every year, that means that a black person couldn't be getting killed every single day by the cops because there's not enough days. Even if one black person got killed, all of those 200, and they were separate days, 200, there would still be 100 and something days that a black person wasn't getting killed by the cops. So this just goes to my point of we need to be able to do research. We need to be able to sift through what's real and what's not real, because then we're not operating from a place of emotion. When people talk about poverty in the black community and make it seem like, well, black people can't make it because they grow up in poverty or they're in poverty. Okay, well, if only 17% of black people are in poverty, he said, I think broadly all Americans aren't necessarily poor, but act like it. Lowest quantity, highest convenience on most goods they buy, so they end up paying $220 for every $100 of a healthy person. And yeah, I can agree with that. And another thing is this, budgeting. Budgeting and making sure that you actually have a goal for your money. See, I've had this conversation with people about budgeting and money, and guess what I get told? Oh, you think you're a know-it-all. You think you're, my favorite, you think you're better than me. You think you're telling me how to spend my money? You think you're better than me. I can spend my money how I want to spend my money. I earned it, okay. But then the same people that come knocking, asking to borrow the money, or asking for this, asking for that, and it's like, if especially when it comes to health, because here's what people don't understand, especially within the black community, is when you eat certain foods and you go and you pay a dollar for that cheap food, on the back end you're going to be paying more in health cost, because that cheap food that you're getting that has the additives, the preservatives, that has all of this unhealthy stuff, it's causing inflammation. It's causing other chronic conditions within your body that you end up paying for on the back end. Getting the diabetes, getting the heart disease, getting the high blood pressure. All of these things add up, not to mention the effect that it has on your stress levels and just your psychology. He says, I'm getting better, but like with weed, I was buying a cart every other day for $60 each. And once I started working on it, I pay $10 for the equivalent amount of THC and flowers. I just have to roll it myself. Hey, whatever works for you. Like, another thing is this. If you're actively working on your budget and you're actively working on managing your money, you can always typically find gaps between where you want to be and where you're at. You can always find a way to do something better. You can always reevaluate and say, do I need to smoke that much? Do I need to buy that much? Do I need, like, what are my goals? And this is the issue. Many people don't have goals. They don't have written goals somewhere. They're just operating on autopilot. And when you're operating on autopilot, it's easy for you to go spend that money on this and go spend that money on that, because there's not that thing that's hitting you upside the head being like, hey, stupid, you can't go buy that. Hey, I want to go buy new shoes. Hey, stupid, go look in your closet. You have 3 pairs and you barely wear those. Don't go buy that, because we're trying to save up for a house, or we're trying to save up so that we have an emergency savings fund. Like, we have goals. But when you don't have goals, you don't have that, hey, stupid, hitting you in the head when you're about to do something stupid. So you need to get that, hey, stupid, notification. Just like you get notifications on your phone, you need that when you're about to go spend money irresponsibly. You need that when you're about to go off your path of what your purpose is. You need that, hey, stupid, right? I had it growing up. Hey, Fitz, you want to go ditch school with us and smoke? Hey, stupid, you're trying to graduate. Hey, stupid, if you do that, you're not going to be able to get your homework done. Hey, stupid, if you do that, you're going to end up living in poverty like they're likely going to. So, hey, stupid is a great tool. Hey stupid, because that's exactly what you are when you're deviating from your path, from your purpose. So yeah, get you a hey stupid notification, and once you get that, uh, it'll your autopilot will now start being geared towards what your goals actually are. So you won't even have to get the hey stupid notification, right? Your hey stupid notification will go on vacation. That should be the goal. Get your hey stupid notification to go on vacation because you've done what you need to do so long that it's now autopilot, and now you can move on to bigger and better things. With your time. Yeah. But I just wanted to get on and share that information. Well, I'll be doing a live this Friday, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. Put the topic out. If you got any value, like button. Subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you think. Section. If you want me to cover any topics or there's any interesting things, just let me know. Y'all have a great Tuesday. Peace.